It's a really, really interesting story, but for many, many years we were trying to solve the problem. And I taught you a lesson I learned earlier today, but my philosophy is always just go straight to the top. So if you're struggling, and our lawyers were literally telling us it's not possible. Now the laws changed in September last year, and in October we sat with our American lawyer, very esteemed, who's very, very qualified at sending you an invoice. And he told me it's not possible. And I said, well, and this was my direct question to him, did you ride in on a horse? He looked at me and was a bit confused. I said, did you ride in on a horse? And he said, no, why? I said, exactly. We all now driving cars. So we decided to use a different strategy this year. We went straight to the source. Where is the greatest innovation on this planet? Where is the greatest innovation on this planet? Silicon Valley. That's exactly it. So in March, we did something different. We decided to go to Silicon Valley and find the best people that could build us a car and the lawyers that could get us qualified so that we had a driver's license and we could drive the car. And without further ado, I would like to welcome up who really, for me, has become a good friend in a very short space of time. You know, I refer to him as the Mark Zuckerberg of crowdfunding. And with a very cheeky face like that, do you think he likes to abide by the 20th century laws? Could we have a huge round of applause for Joseph, all the way from Silicon Valley, America?
About 8 years ago, 7 years ago, I was sitting with an attorney, great guy, and a whole bunch of other attorneys, not so great guys. And I was working with a client, and we were talking about, I don't remember what we were talking about, actually, because I wasn't really listening. I was there as a consultant, and you know, consultants, we are just paid to tell stories, and I wasn't being asked to tell a story at the time, so I was just keeping my mouth shut. And I was playing on my cell phone and my smartphone, and I've always been an early adopter of stuff, and I think I had a fancy big phone and with a screen, and it had apps on it, and I think I was really cool. And one of the clients turned to me and said, well, what do you think we should do, Joseph? No idea what we were even talking about. So I said, well, I'd like to have a Groupon app on my phone where I could search local investments and with one click, invest in them directly out of my self-directed IRA, my retirement account. My attorney put his head in his hands. He said, you have no idea how illegal that is. I said, I know it's illegal now, but will it always be illegal? Is there a chance we could change this? Of course, the lawyer's answer was no. Fortunately, the answer is yes. And we've been able to pat ourselves on the back and start building an infrastructure to support the online solicitation, sale, and support of securities. And just like real estate is the backbone of economies that drive the jobs, that build the families to support our communities, the transformation that we're going to talk about of private securities, not just in the US market, but worldwide, is absolutely destroying and blowing up. It's a complete disruption of how private capital is going to flow around the world. Okay? Let me try that slightly different way. We have three disruptive forces that have all come together and collided at the same time. And it is changing forever how private capital will be invested in businesses and how investors will be able to access ownership. It's a tsunami, and we have an opportunity to be swept by it or ride it. One of my greatest business mentors was nearing the end of his life, and we were doing memorials for him and thanking him for everything he had done for us. And he took me aside and gave me what turned out to be his last words of wisdom for me. And he said, you know, Joseph, business is an awful lot like surfing. And we're in Minnesota. There's not really very big surf waves anywhere nearby. And he said, you bob in the water for a long time, and you hope you are up more than you're down on the average. And every once in a while, a big wave's going to come by. And it's your job to recognize it and jump on it. That's what we're talking about. The first big change is the transformative power of technology. So we talk about it in broad general senses, but any of us that know specific industries where technology has swept through, we've seen a complete transformation of, at a core, the business models change, right? We have transparencies, we have efficiencies, we have productivity drivers that come into place. The technology creates the platform for things to be different. The second big change is the adoption of that technology by individuals. And that adoption, that wholesale adoption of the individual technology tools in finance and in the financial service space. So where it started with trickles of I was just trying to get a date online, to now I was getting my information online, to now I was willing to actually buy stuff online, now I was willing to do banking online. The leading edge of that change, trickling around the world, is that people are willing to do and move investing online with an E-Trade account or an Ameritrade account. And now there's a unique opportunity for that technology to hit the leading edge of adoption because of a big idea perpetuated by a regulatory change. And the big idea is crowdfunding.